Hi, this is Fuad M Khalid Hossen. I am the Deputy Chief of Party and Technical Lead of the USDA BTF project. Bangladesh Trade Facilitation Project, that we call BTF, is an initiative of the US Department of Agriculture designed to help Bangladesh implement the selected provision of WTO Trade Facilitation Agreement. BTF works to create a conducive environment for trade by simplifying, harmonizing, modernizing the import process of agricultural product, as well as supporting the regulatory authorities and private sector to meet the compliance requirement of importing countries to promote export of agricultural commodities. Trade is the key driver of Bangladesh economic growth, which contribute to the GDP's 34%, and the country recently graduated from the LDC status and has an aspiration to be a developed nation by 2041. And Bangladesh is also one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and trade will play the key role to sustain this growth momentum. Our WTO study shows that successful implementation of the Trade Facilitation Agreement will reduce trade cost by 15% and increase global trade annually around 1 trillion. And the country like Bangladesh will be the biggest gainer of this increased trade volume. Apart from this, though the volume of export-import consignment has increased around 3 times and the number of bill of entry and bill of export increased around 4 times, but the capacity of the regulatory agencies actually dealing the clearance process of those products not increase much. Given those backdrop, Bangladesh need to adopt trade facilitating measures like introducing risk management system, post-clearance audit to simplify the clearance process, and which will ultimately contribute to the national economic growth. Well, it's really too many. BTF successfully launched the country's biggest agro-trade related export-import system for the Department of Fisheries, and also automate the lab information management system of this department, as well as BTF introduce and automate the e-health certification issuance process of the Bangladesh Food Safety Authority and develop a lab information repository for food and chemical testing laboratories. With support from BTF project, 4 agro-trade related government departments like Department of Livestock Services, Department of Fisheries, Department of Agriculture Extension, and Bangladesh Standard and Testing Institution form the risk management unit. And this unit is working to reduce the clearance process of agricultural commodities, as well as Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock approved the national guideline for good livestock practice, and Department of Livestock Service introduced international trade wing. Also, with support from BTF, Ministry of Commerce started notifying WTO after 15 years. So this is a very good progress, and BTF created a culture of regularly notifying WTO. Eventually, Bangladesh Food Safety Authority notified WTO about their 6th draft regulation. BTF is trying to address some of the fundamental problems and underlying issues that impact agro-trade, including reforming inconsistencies in the international trade-related regulatory regime and their lack of harmonization with regard to international standard and obligation. Well, another big challenge is to meet the compliance requirement of importing countries. Bangladesh produces a large amount of agricultural product, but local producers struggle to meet the compliance requirement of importing countries. BTF is working with the public and private sector to address these challenges by automating contract farming system, introducing good livestock practices, improving laboratory and testing facilities, and developing temperature control facilities. BTF's contribution to the national economic growth is really significant. Bangladesh total export doubled in the last 1 decade from 27 billion to 55 billion. But agriculture export struggling near around 1 billion. BTF is working with public and private sector to increase the value and volume of agricultural export. Improving trade facilitation, particularly in the agriculture sector, has the potential to address various development priorities in the country, such as employment, food security and safety, and investment. The positive effect of BTF work extend beyond business and trading community, benefiting producer, consumer, and the national at large, and contributing to the growth aspiration and development vision of Bangladesh.